Welcome back everyone. Today we're going to talk through KAYO versus Chamber. This will cover the main things to know when you play versus a Chamber. 1. Understand Chamber's utility kit. 2. How powerful KAYO's Dagger is versus Chamber. And 3. Outplaying different Chamber styles. This is certainly not an end-all guide, but a start to how KAYO can play against a Chamber. First is knowing Chamber's utility. His first ability is a slow trap that you can place on the ground. Secondly is a scopable Sheriff Deagle. And his ult is another scopable weapon, pretty much a faster op. And his signature ability is a teleportation device. Think of it like Yoru's teleport, but faster and lasts the whole round until it's killed. He can teleport from both of the teleporters in an instant. This gives Chamber a lot of flexibility to move around the site and play off of his slow utility and his teleportations. Second is knowing how powerful KAYO's Dagger is. We discussed this in my Dagger videos. One Dagger to the center of a site on any map covers pretty much the whole site, and it will suppress anyone on site. So you'll want to use this based on the type of Chamber you're playing, whether they're aggressive or defensive. This will allow you to clear corners and disarm when initiating a site take. So here you'll see an example of how KAYO's Dagger suppresses every single one of Chamber's utility. But what makes it even more effective is that 2 of Chamber's utility comes in the form of a weapon that deals damage, rendering Chamber completely useless when it comes to a weapon. Especially if they're relying on their Sheriff or their Operator in this round, most players will then just be left with the Classic for full 8 seconds while you execute the site take.
I can't use that. I can't use that.
Third and final is Outplaying Chamber. When the devs created this agent, their main goal was to bring in an agent into the game with the ability to outplay their opponents. This comes in the form of slows and using the teleporters to trick and gain position advantage versus their enemies. KAYO can effectively disarm all of this with his ult or his dagger. So here are some different types of chambers you may encounter in the game. The first one is aggressive. Think of this chamber more of a jet type, using their teleport to get on and off site, taking risks due to the instant teleport. Use your dagger to clear out common corners you're used to playing versus a jet, such as an operator on a high corner, an aggressive peek early round, or moving across lanes without giving any enemy information. The second one is defensive. These chambers will likely play back of sight or in corners, strictly playing off of their utility, waiting for the slow to pop or just trying to gain any type of information that they can then peek and take advantage of you with. So here you'll want to use your dagger to clear out corners to clear the site before you initiate, because you'll never know, they might be hiding with a Bucky or a Spectre just waiting for their utility, and this way you can gain an advantage knowing where they're at.
That works.
And finally, it's a mixture of both, aggressive and defensive. These chambers will take risks early in the round, but most likely retreat to an angle that gives them a defensive advantage, relying on their utility kits. Think of this like a sentinel who can fall back to a safe haven on site, who can play strictly off of their utility, but also make aggressive plays when it's needed. This chamber is the most versatile, and I've seen mostly in higher ranked games. In this clip here, Chamber is waiting for the defuse to teleport onto site, but my dagger suppresses him, and now he's in a bad angle for post-plant, leading us to a win. Because both of Chamber's utility are scopable weapons, you most likely might be seeing Chambers play longer ranges and longer angles. I hope this gives you some ideas on how valuable KAYO is becoming in Valorant, and how you can use these tips in your next game. Please don't forget to like, sub, and comment if you have any other ideas.